Hello and welcome back to the, I think I'm going to say, fifth part of Destroying Liverpool Football Club. When we last left them, they had just finished bottom of the entire 92 clubs in the Football League and were about to enter non-league football. So, you know, bad times. So, before we get into this experiment, just to let you know, I have got a new series on the channel. Which is my MK Don's career mode in Football Manager, because I already said this game. I don't know why I'm repeating that. So, please watch that. It's going to be an FM career mode. I don't know what else to say. But back to this. We're going to go 3 years into the future to the year 2030 to see how Liverpool did in non-league. Did they continue this free fall? Because in the space of 3 years, they've gone from the Championship to non-league. Not great. So let's see, do they continue this downslide, and in 3 years' time, they're not even in the National League North? Or do they start to recover, and they're back in League 2 by then? So, join me in a second to find out. We have done it. Liverpool have been relegated from the National League North in 2029. So didn't even do the full 3 years. 2029, they've had 2 successive relegations from the National League and then the National League North. They're gone. They're not in the game. I mean, I have successfully destroyed them. Completely gone. Which is not what I expected, especially considering for the first 5 years they were just sitting in the Championship, having quite a nice life, got in the playoffs at one point, and then in the space of about, what season was the first relegation there? In the space of about 6 years, they went from the Championship to the Isthmian, well, it wouldn't be the Isthmian Premier, it would be the, the Premier Division, the Northern Premier, I think is what it's called, the Northern Premier Division. But there's one thing that I looked up when I got here. So I wanted to see how they did in National League. So I went to records. They picked up 1 point. They got relegated from the National League with 1 point. I mean, that's ridiculous. 1 point. I mean, they weren't actually that bad. They had 10 points, actually. They picked up 10 points that season, but they went into administration. So, yeah. So it makes it look worse than it is. But considering that they got taken over, and then a year later, not even a year later, they went into administration, you kind of got to think, what is that guy doing? They've gone through even more managers. So I think it was this guy who was in charge when we left, Matthew Bloxham. Was it that guy? I can't remember now. Yeah, it was that guy, yeah. And then it was Carl Magnay, followed by Andros Townsend, who's now manager at Harrogate. Followed by Kane Vincent Young, who's now manager of Barnet. Followed then by Callum Saunders, who was just sacked. He was actually sacked in March, and they didn't bother replacing him. They don't have a new manager. They obviously didn't see much point. They were probably relegated by that point. So this year, they hit bottom of the league 3 games in, and just sat there. They ended up finishing 35 points from safety, picking up 2 wins, 5 draws, 35 losses, and a minus 70 goal difference. They were knocked out in the second qualifying round of the FA Cup by Redditch, the third qualifying round of the FA Trophy by Chelmsford. They have Lazar Markovic. Yes, he's 34. But he's a 24 cap Serbian international. And he's been relegated multiple times with Liverpool. It's not good, to say the least. This is the season in the National League. As you can see, they lost 3-0 in the opening game against Tranmere Rovers. Local derby, just relegated, just terrible. Put up their first win against Bromley though. So you think after the poor start maybe they'll turn it around. They don't. They go out in the FA Cup fourth qualifying round to Matlock, who are in the Southern Division 1, so they're not even like Southern Premier. They are, what's that? I think that's the 8th tier of English football, and they're in the 5th tier at this point. They ran out in the FA Trophy first round to Warrington, who are obviously based in the Manchester area, so that's really embarrassing for them. And I'm just speechless. Like, when I did this experiment, I did not expect this result. Because I'd seen other experiments like this, like Giancaldo when he destroyed Arsenal. And they managed to survive when they got multiple relegations and hit League 2. And then they started rebuilding, and eventually they reached the Championship and started becoming an up-down Championship Premiership team by the time 2040 came around. By 2029, Liverpool have left the game. And considering I thought I had failed, they were in the Championship. I thought they don't seem to be getting relegated. They're just mid-table. And then they got relegated. And they did poor in League 1. Then they got relegated. Then they got relegated. Then they got relegated. And now they've been relegated out of the game. Now part of me wants to do another part of this. Go 20 years into the future and just see what happens to Liverpool. And I probably will do that. I'll do a special for release on Tuesday. I think I would just go 20 years into the future to the year. I'll probably just go to the year 2050 and just see what happens. Have they managed to get back into the game? Have they just stayed out of the game that entire time? Because there's not really much to go through. It's like I'm just in shock more than anything. Lots of players leaving on a free, being released, bringing in lots of loans, but they didn't do anything. They didn't help them. They got relegated. And again, the same thing. A lot of players leaving on frees, leaving a player on loan to go to Northwich, and bringing in a lot of players on loan who didn't do anything, and they got relegated. It's just it's an odd one. They're fully professional clubs now. They didn't go semi-professional due to lack of funds or anything like that. They've got really decent money for this level. Really decent wage budget for this level. And it's just really odd. Like, yeah, they don't get many people, and that has dropped a lot because of the relegations, as is their reputation. But, it's just weird. You look at the rival clubs they start to pick up. Crewe, Bradford. Why are they started picking up rivalries with these clubs? It's a really, really, really odd one to see. Like I keep repeating that, but it is. So they've just been playing a 4-4-2 this season. They played that one system like every season, and now they're just not. And once Lazar Markovic is still playing every match, but if we look at his career stats at Liverpool, he has been, ever present in the side on a non-contract, and just like you just need to watch him to see all this Championship, and then suddenly it's just gone. There's not many original players. You've got Jack Dunn, who's still here. He's 34. He's on a non-contract as well. It seems like all the people who are on non-contract pretty much stayed. People like Mamadou Sakho, Lazar Markovic, Jack Dunn, they have stayed through all the relegations. Sakho only left because he retired. He stayed here until that happened. But yeah, I guess I'll just see you, I'll do a special in-depth one tomorrow on Tuesday, because right now I'm just absolute disbelief that this has happened, because I didn't really do that much. Yeah, I destroyed the reputation stuff, but they were in the Championship for ages, and it was fine. They built their reputation up. They got to 2.5 stars, and you thought, brilliant. But I'm just repeating myself now, so I'm going to end it there. I will hopefully see you tomorrow for the special where we go to the year 2050 and just see what has happened to Liverpool by then. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.